Hmm. So, in today's session, I'm going to tell you about Salesforce new product, which is known as Salesforce Analytics Cloud, or which is also known as Wave, and it was introduced by Salesforce in 2014. Actually, it came in. It They were planning to launch it from long time, but it came into existence. It was open for client for users in 2014. And Salesforce Wave Analytics is also known as Wave. It's a cloud based platform. Those who are familiar with BI tools like OBIE or any other BI tools like Tableau or ClickView or any other reporting tools, they might know that they need to download and set up that tool on their local machine. Then only they can use it. Whereas in Wave Analytics, it's a cloud based platform. So installation is not required, and we can use Wave Analytics in very less resources. If you have, if you have a very nominal configuration in your system, still you will be able to use Wave. You will be requiring your browser, and a net connectivity should be there in your system, so you can easily use Wave. Definitely registration would be there. Subscription is also required, because Wave is a subscription based model. You need to pay for that. You need to buy a new subscription for Wave Analytics to work on. But in this training, don't worry about it. I'll tell you the ways. I'll tell you various ways to register on Wave Analytics for as a trial version, which can be used as long as you want, but definitely with limited capabilities. Not all features are available into it. And it's a cloud-based platform for connecting data from multiple data sources. So we can extract data into Wave. We can bring data into Wave from various data sources. You might have heard about ETL process. So I'm assuming that you all are familiar with ETL process. You know that what exactly ETL is: extraction, transformation, is loading. And Wave is capable enough of doing all these things. Now we can extract the data from we can extract the data from various data sources if any transformation is required. So after extracting the data, we can transform it, and then finally we load the data into Wave. Or we can also do that the data is already extracted and loaded, and if we want to transform it later on, that can also be done. So Wave Analytics provide us around 14 types of transformations are there. That's also one of the major part of Wave Analytics. So those who are going to build their career in Wave Analytics, they might be familiar with JSON, SQL, and and definitely security part as well. So in this training, we would be covering all these four topics thoroughly. So we will be covering all 14 type of transformations: Sockle, JSON, and security part. So as I was mentioning that Wave is capable enough for performing all ETL processes. So we can pull data directly from a CSV file. Or one of the biggest advantage of using Salesforce is, like as I was talking about one of the candidate right now, and he told me that he is quite familiar with Salesforce development. He is a developer guy. He knows that Salesforce is a CRM solution. Means all I'm assuming that all of you knows about it, that Salesforce is a CRM solution, and in that we can capture data from we can store data on a centralized location in various objects. So we can using Wave, we can easily pull the data from Salesforce objects into Wave, and we can perform transformation onto it if it is required, or we can directly load the data and start using it. Or if we want to use data from SAQL, or if we want to use data from uh, Amazon Web Services, or from other organization, other Salesforce organization, or maybe from any other Salesforce in sorry, any other data sets. So for that we have Salesforce Wave has done a partnership with Informatica, and there's a tool called Informatica Rev, which allow us to pull data from various data sources, because Informatica is also an ETL tool. So we can perform transform, we can extract, transform the data into wave and to informatica rev, and then we can pull data, we can export data into wave. So we have different ways to load data into wave, or we can use APIs can also be used for loading data into Salesforce Wave Analytics. And finally, once the data is loaded, we start visualizing it using either by creating lenses or by creating dashboards, directly dashboards. In dashboards we used to add widgets. And finally, once a dashboard is ready, we can share the dashboard with our end users or with a specific group of people with limited or with a specific permission, or we can export it as an image or as a PDF file and share it along with uh, share it as an attachment with an email. So this that is wave analytics. So basically, it's a, as I was mentioning, that it was one of the major product announced by Dreamforce in 2014. It's a new age cloud BI tool which is built on wave platform. And analytic cloud is a Salesforce product similar to, or we can say much like, the sales and service cloud. uh, I hope you know about sales cloud. We have sales cloud, we have service clouds. There are various phases into it, there are various stages into it. Also, in Salesforce we have some pre-built reports. If we switch to Salesforce, we have some pre-built reports in Salesforce. So let me show you that. We go to setup, and in Salesforce we have some pre-built reports. Like, I'll go to services, excuse me, like reports. So we go to reports, and we have some pre-existing reports both for sales cloud, for service cloud, and for marketing cloud. So we have sales report, service report, and marketing report, call center reports, product and asset reports, files and content reports. So these are pre-built reports. We can use these reports, or we can create our own reports. Similar way, in Wave we can create sales app, or we can create service app. We have option to create sales app or service app, and when we enable it, it gives us a list of multiple reports which can be used, or which can be used as a self learning, or it can be used to enhance more, it can be used to enhance your knowledge in Wave. For example, let me show you apps. And we have a sales app. When I switch to sales app, we have a huge list of dashboards. See, company overview, forecast, leaderboard, sales analytics, home. Or we have sales team, company trending, sales performance, team white space. Like, for example, I click on accounts. So it's a pre-built dashboards, and you can get all these dashboards simple by adding sales app. So that's a sales app, and you see we are getting we can preview a report. It's a pre-built report. We can apply filters if it is required. We can add filters. We have options to add filters here. Average sales cycles. Okay, so these are details. Like here, it's a closed one. I want to show for open pipes, so the result will change. This is not changing because it is locked. So all these things we are going to discuss in our regular session, that how we can bind a widget with a specific filter. So this is called selection binding. Selection binding. Or if I select something here, if I select a specific value, whether it reflect, or whether, see this, so this chart, this the second widget filtered based on the selection we did in Stephen. So this is called result binding. So we have two types of binding: selection binding and result binding, which can be performed in Wave Analytics. So these are pre-built reports. These are pre-built dashboards. And finally, we can share the dashboard. So we have options to share the dashboard. If it is required, I can share any dashboard with a group of people, or with a specific people, or we can export it as an image. So we have options for sharing. So see this, I can download it as an image, or I can share this with other users. and we can have specific permissions like entire organization. We cannot share it with entire organizations, but we can give specific permissions. Fine. So we have such kind of capability with Wave Analytics. Now, what are the key concepts of Analytic Cloud? So, using Wave Analytics, we can easily explore it uh, throughout the CRM. The end user can ask, or the decision makers can ask the questions as per the requirement, or using any ERP or any kind of external data, we can explore the data of any kind of external data, collaborate, have all discussions, and their answers are one place. For example, let's suppose today my client for whom I am building report, they wanted to know how much sales they have done in last 1 year, or how much sales they have done in last 2 years, or they want to compare they want to compare the last fiscal quarter sale with current fiscal quarter sale. So that comparison can be easily done. We can show the result using a table, or we can show the results by using any report, any widget, or a bar chart or a pie chart. So it's as per the requirement. Cloud, the best part with analytics is it's on cloud, so everything is online. You don't we means you are not required to install anything. So if you are not required to install anything, you can access it from anywhere. If you have net connectivity while you are traveling, and if you have net connectivity, you can easily go online, connect your browser, and access your analytic interface and start visualizing. Or if you have to develop something, you can develop it if it is required. So that can be easily done. So it's a cloud, and we can that's I already mentioned that it can quickly up and run without any installation required. And mobile, everything is on go and get reports on hand devices. So it does not mean that the reports or the dashboards we are building using Wave can be accessed only on browser. We can access them on our mobile phones as well, on our mobile devices as well. The only thing you require is you would be requiring your mobile, means you need to have a net connectivity, or we like we there is an analytic app. We simply open that, and we simply download and install that Salesforce Analytic app on our handheld devices, and simple login it and start using it. So these are the key concepts of analytic clouds. Now, before I move ahead and tell you about the before I move ahead and tell you about the Salesforce Wave, I just wanted to tell you something about the difference between. Basically, I just wanted to uh, discuss about the difference between the analytic clouds and the reports and dashboards within Salesforce. Because many people might be thinking that why would I need analytic cloud when I can easily build reports using Wave? Then why what's the requirement for me to to use Wave Analytics? That could be a question asked by a lot of people, a lot of users, a lot of learners. They might be wanted to they might wanted to know that what is the difference between the Wave, and why should we start using Wave, why should I switch to Wave when we build reports using Salesforce reports and dashboards option. And the answer to their question is that if you are familiar with Salesforce reporting, okay, and you might have experienced by yourself that in Salesforce reporting we can only use Salesforce dataset. We cannot build reports using any external dataset. If I ask you that I have a data in CSV file, and I want to visualize it by using Salesforce reporting, we can't do that because Salesforce reports only allows to access Salesforce object. We cannot connect we cannot load data from, we cannot use any external file for visualization in Salesforce. The only way to do that is, first of all, we create an object in Salesforce, upload the data into that object, and then we visualize it. Whereas in Analytic Cloud, we can explore the data from Salesforce, or we can use any external data whenever it is required. So let me show you the interface of Wave. As you can see in here in data sets, I have got a huge list of data sets like opportunity objects, account activities, cases, and this test data, update sales, test data transform, these are coming from a CSV file. These all are CSV files. And augmented sale is a CSV file. Okay, appended data is a CSV file. So there are a lot of data I have uploaded using a CSV file, and remaining data we uploaded you from Salesforce. So in Wave Analytic Cloud, we can explore data from Salesforce, or using we can explore from an external data. That's the first thing. Second thing, in Salesforce reports, Salesforce inbuilt reports and dashboards, we have three types of reports. If you are familiar with that, there are three types of reports: tabular report, matrix report, and summary report. And using tabular report, we can only build reports used in the form of rows and columns. If we want to build a chart, we need to switch to matrix or summary report. So basically, by default it creates a report, and then we can change the type of reports. Whereas in Salesforce Analytic Cloud, it's quite simple. We don't have to follow a series of wizard like we used to do in Salesforce. My requirement is I would like to create a lens. Basically, I want to create a report. So I simply click on my data set, and it creates a lens for me, and the default visualization appears. Default visualization is count of rows, and we can switch it to, let's say I wanted to show sum of sales, and I want to group by region. So it's too easy to work on it. You have to simply select the option, that's all, and the visualization will change automatically. Yeah. if you are not if you are not confident enough to select what you have to choose, Wave Analytics also introduced, basically they have recently introduced in the updated version, like you can start typing your question, what start typing your requirement, and like it's like Google searching. It will automatically create a visualization for you. For example, I wanted to show product category, product product based margin and first sales, product based margin current and previous month ship date, product based margin current, product based margin for product based margin. So it gives us the default options, or let's say region, yeah, percentage breakdown, rank of first sales by province. So I just switch it, and it quickly visualize it. See this, by province. A rank function is added. It's in a rank form, 1 2 3 4. This is the, okay, so by provinces. So this is the first rank, second rank, and so on. So it quickly gives us the preview. It quickly preview the results. We can quickly preview the results simple by showing this, simple by typing here. See this. I just Okay, so I just type my requirement, percentage breakdown, what is the average of unit price by order date. So I simple select my question, and the preview is changed, the result is changed. So it's quite simple for me to work on, or if for not only for me, anyone to work on. This is the default, that's the default solutions we have, or we can have our own requirement. So I switch to initial view, and I would like to do show sum of sales, and by region, or we can change it. Let's suppose I wanted to present this in a donut form, so I present it in a donut form, and then we have some customizations. So we can format it. So formatting option is there on the right side, so we can format it. And donut chart, compact number, center value, total, or we have compact number I want to show in percentage. So this we can see it show in percentage. It's quite simple to work on, uh, only by changing the properties. Fine. So these are basically these are settings. There are a lot of settings we will be going to work on. We can apply filters. Let's suppose I'm interested only in the region for Atlantic, Northwest, Nunavut, and add. So it will filter record. It will filter record according to that series. One, two, three, four. Three records are there, and we can take pointer and see the results. So it the building reports or creating dashboards or lenses in Wave is quite simple. It's like drag and drop. You don't need to take much pain for writing codes and customizing it. So this is one of the major difference between the Analytic Cloud and Salesforce reporting. And one more difference is, although it is not actually in Salesforce, you will be working on real-time data. Let's suppose we have built a report in Salesforce, and if the data gets changed, and next time when we open reports, we can see the updated data. It doesn't happen in Salesforce Wave. Okay, so in Salesforce Wave Analytics, we can schedule the data. We can schedule the data on hourly basis, monthly basis, or weekly basis. So let's assume that we have scheduled the data set. We have scheduled the dashboard or data set basically on hourly basis. And so after every 1 hour, the transformation will run, or the data flow will execute, and the data get refreshed, and based on that, the chart also get refreshed, the dashboard also get refreshed based on that. So these are the major differences between the Analytic Cloud and Salesforce reports and dashboards. Now, if we talk about the analytic component, so there are four major components: data sets, lenses, dashboards, and all these three components combine, or it means they are combined into a single component which is called app. So we can say app is a collection of data set, lenses, or dashboard. And if I share an app with any specific user, so that user have access to data sets, lenses, and dashboards all. So he can also access, if I share an app with a specific user, he will have access, means he can access all the means he can access uh, uh, all the other components, data sets, lenses, or dashboards we have added in the app. For example, let's close this lens. I'll switch up and say app. So we have three apps right now: private app, sales app, and BISP app. So sales app is the app I created by clicking on app, and we can enable that series. So we have sales analytics and service analytics. Sales app is already added. It's already added. Say service analytics, so we can add this service analytic app. So I can share this app where we have option for share, and I can share with a group of people. Like here I have shared with Laura Gerza. So this is another user in the same subscription, and I have shared this app with this user. So anything which basically we used to call it as a public app. So anything which we have stored in a public app and we share it with the user, that user would be able to access it. Whereas if I capture anything in private, that would not be shared. See, there is no option for sharing, so we cannot share it. So basically these are analytic components, and we have data sets, lenses, and dashboards, and we can quickly explore them simply by clicking on them. We don't need to write any code for creating an app. We don't need to write specific codes for creating lenses and dashboards. It's simple dragging and dropping. Now let's suppose I want to build a dashboards. So I can quickly click on dashboard and click on continue, and I can create a dashboards. That's my dashboard. A simple drag and drop the widget, click on chart, select the data sets, and we can quickly visualize it. Sum of sales, and quickly visualize it by region. See, it's done. So it's quite simple. See this. In 3 steps, I create a quick dashboard. It's a simple dashboard. We can add more widgets onto it. These are called widgets, so we can add more widgets which can be used for filtering, or which can be used for customization, or for, let's say I add a filter here. So let me add a filter. I simply add a filter, and this filter is for region. So now we can quickly filter the data. Preview, and we can filter. I just wanted to see only for Atlantic, so this will show me Atlantic records. I just wanted to see Northwest entries to uncheck out. So we can quickly preview the result, and this will be the final output, final outcome, which we are going to share with our end users or the decision makers. They can preview this final outcome, and while they will be previewing this final outcome, they are capable of applying filters onto it. So by adding these lists, we allow our user or decision makers or the target audience to apply filters onto it. They can add filters. Let me show you one dashboard. It's a very, yeah, so let me show you this dashboard. Now you see in this dashboard it is showing sum of sales in total sale, average sale. When I click on average sale, this changed to average of sales. By default it is region, and it's top 2. I switch to top 10. See, so all these customizations we have done. So product category. So this is not inbuilt actually. This toggle control is there, but the binding we have done manually by customizing query. So if I switch to JSON, we have bind it by writing our own code. So let me show you that. So switch to steps. Yeah, see, so the bind we have write the codes for binding. So this code we need to understand that why binding is required and how to bind it. So we are going to work on this binding part as well. And from the very beginning, once we in the training, once we start this session, we would be going to work as a proper reporting environment. First of all, I would be sharing my requirements to you, and we would be going to learn that how to prepare a requirement document, or how, like, what kind of requirement document will be shared to you. How are you going to identify the dimensions and measures? You need to create a sample report template from your at your end. If you receive from your client, then your work will be easy. If it is not, how we are going to do that, and then how we are going to replicate the same thing into Wave. So first of all, we'll build some sample reports in Excel, and then we export, then we try to replicate the same thing into Waves. So, and it would be basically the training will be, you can say the training will be logical training, as well as it's a scenario based training. It's not like that I would be telling all the things one by one. So it would be a scenario based training, so that at the end of the training, once we complete this part, you will be quite familiar with Wave, and you know how to use it and what component you are going to use when. Now let's take a very quick example. My requirement is, we have a data set, and the requirement is I wanted to see the total sale. So what I did, I switched to compare table, and I wanted to see total sales. So I say sum of sales and group by region. Now the thing is, group by region. Now my client wants to see that what's the sales difference between, how much difference between them, what's the difference between them. Or basically maybe he wants to see the cumulative total. His requirement is to find out the cumulative total. So to find out the cumulative total, we can take help of compare table. So in compare table, I use sum of sales, and I want to go for a cumulative total. So I switch to edit this column, and we have an inbuilt formula for running total. So that's a cumulative total, and we can define with this proper format. So that's a cumulative total. If you see the result, 6605. And one more thing, let's switch to dollar, apply. See, 605, 662, same, 307. So this, if we talk about this cumulative total, so cumulative total is this plus this is this one, then this plus this is this one, then this plus this is this one, and so on. And this will be the final outcome. So this will be the final outcome for us. So that's a cumulative total, and without writing any code, we simply did that. by selecting formula. Now let's say I wanted to add one more function, and first of all let me rename it as, I'll say, running total, apply, and I switch to next column, and here I want change from previous. So I wanted to see change from previous, continue, and percentage change, reset group none, apply. It should be in percentage, so that's a percentage. So you see that's a change from previous. It means the difference between the current one and the previous one, so we subtract the previous one from the current one, so that's the change. So it's saying that we are in loss in northwest, we are in loss here, but we have a profit here, loss profit loss, sorry, loss profit loss, and so on. So this is how we can see this. We can quickly create we can quickly use the functionality of inbuilt calculation, but it doesn't mean that we cannot have our own calculations. We can do that by customizing Socle. We can create our own visualization, we can create our own calculations. For example, I switch to sales dataset, and my requirement is to if I'll switch to tables, value tables, and in value tables it's showing a tabular form. So let me uncheck all of them. Customer name, I just wanted to show region and sales. Region and sales. Region and sales, and update columns. We have region and sales. And I want to add a third column here, which would be showing the calculation based on sales. So my requirement is to show the calculation based on sale. Now the difference between table and compare table is, in compare table grouping is there, but in value table, see, there is no grouping. Only columns is there, but there is no grouping. So in this case, we if we want to add some calculations, we need to take help of Socle. So when we click on this icon, Socle is enabled. That's the SAQL, Salesforce Analytics Query Language. We are going to work thoroughly onto it. We will be covering 2-3 sessions on SAQL thoroughly. Now my requirement is, right now I just wanted to calculate the text applicable onto it. So I write sum of sales, or I simple write sales multiply 18 divided by 100 as text, and run query. See this, so text is calculated, and let's just test it. So it is 872 multiply 18 divided by 100, that is, sorry, 872 divided by 18 multiply by 100, that is uh, 872 divided by 18, sorry, 156.96. So it's a round of 177. So the calculation can be done. We applied a calculation like this. So it's a calculated column, right? So which we can apply this on our data set in a table. Now so these all are these all are very important things on which we have to work. So we'll be going to work on this, and once we done with lenses, we'll move on to dashboard. In dashboard, we'll be going to see how to work on bindings. So the topics we would be going to cover in this training, first of all, we would be going to talk about lenses, sorry, first of all apps, lenses, before that data sets, how to get data sets from various data sources. Then we'll talk about transformation, then how to build dashboards and how to use dashboards. Fine. And after dashboard is done, we would be going to work on wave application and data set recipes, data set. And while in transformation, we'll be working on JSON as well. So we'll be working on JSON both with dashboard as well as transformation, because using JSON we can apply transformation, or using JSON we can change the dashboard JSON for as per requirement customization. So dataset recipes, SAQL, security part, security implementation, record level security, hierarchical level security. So all these things we are going to cover in this training. So we'll share a detailed session wise plan to you guys, so you can go through that later on. Okay, so it's a topic wise. So these are the main topics we would be going to cover. Also, along with this, we will be I would be we'll be going to learn how to create, how to design requirement template. So I have a sampler template for you guys. So I'll share that sampler template for you. Also, I would be sharing one PPT for building report stack. So I'll share this report stack with you, so that you need to design this. And because, as you know, as all of you know, that it's a rule actually for any project management, that before starting your actual implementation, you need to get approval from your either from your client or from your manager. Fine. So once he approved, and how you are going to tell him that, okay, what you are going to design, what you are going to build. So you can build some reporting stacks or report stacks or some templates, share with him. Once he approve, then you start actual implementation. You start implementing into Wave Analytics.